technological capability in and of itself doesn't really have impact. It only becomes impactful once it's adopted. And the interesting thing here is, of course, that we now have a lot of what are called secret cyborgs. So you have people using these services, using AI to sort of improve their productivity, but more often than not, they do it in secret for many reasons, including that many employers have banned them from doing so. Yeah, so a lot is made about how it would be beneficial if it was like an open source thing that everybody would have their own system. I don't know if that would actually be a better situation. When you have a world where anybody could run, say, a GPT-4 level model on their phone or their desktop, you cannot enforce any of the safety guardrails if you have an open source system capable of GPT-4 level output. And that's a risk, because I don't know what happens with regulation, because it becomes unenforceable. A moral crumple zone is a situation where automation often ends up putting people in the way that accountability and responsibility are no longer aligned. So people are still being held accountable for something that they don't do anymore. And in many situations, even the legal liability rests on a human, even though they are no longer responsible for that. I'm not advocating that we stop everything, or I don't think that we can. And all of that offloading inevitably changes humans. From a very even physical perspective, it changes how your brain works. And often it's fine, because now it's becoming higher order systems or higher order tasks and roles and jobs. And this is where it gets more complicated. Whether something that we're in the process of automating, should it be automated? Do we want it to be automated? And if so, how? Yeah, so the alignment problem is basically how do we align, or can we align the AI systems to human values? So there are technical ways that you can do alignment better than it is done now. At the same time, it's a mathematically impossible assignment for an AI to align to the whole spectrum of values of society, just because the models, the large language models in particular, are completely amoral in their relationship to truth, in that they don't know the concept of what is true and what is a lie. I mean, of course, we can never identify all the unintended consequences ahead of time, but we could very feasibly identify a whole lot more than we do today. So, no, we can't be perfect, but we can do much better, and arguably we should do much better than we have so far, considering the costs of getting it wrong are pretty high.